hemoglobin. How much percentage of carbon dioxide get transported as carbaminohemoglobin? 20 to 25, and exactly if you take the count means 23%. That is 23% of carbon dioxide get transported as carbaminohemoglobin. So how this transport takes place means here carbon dioxide combines with which part of the heme? Amine part of heme, and give rise to the formation of a reversible compound. That reversible compound is HbCO2, that is carbaminohemoglobin. Okay, so that formation also takes place within the RBC. So let's represent that now. Next, 23% of carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide combines with the hemoglobin and give rise to the formation of HbCO2. That is carbaminohemoglobin that get transported through the which one? Hemoglobin present in the RBC. Okay. Then such hemoglobin, that is carbaminohemoglobin, again broken down into hemoglobin and carbon dioxide diffuses into the alveolar surface or alveoli. And in the plasma, what is present here? 7% of the carbon dioxide, 7% of carbon dioxide from the plasma also directly diffuses into the alveoli. In this manner, okay, 70% as bicarbonate and 23% as carbaminohemoglobin, 7% as through the dissolved state in the plasma get transported. Is it clear? In this way, transport of the carbon dioxide takes place in three ways. One is carbaminohemoglobin, second one as bicarbonates, and the previous one is through dissolved state in the plasma. Any doubt in this one? So each 100 ml of blood transports 4 ml of carbon dioxide. Okay. Next is, say after the transport of the carbon dioxide, so what is the next one? Regulation of respiratory activities. Next is a regulation of respiratory activities. Yes. So what is the normal breathing rate of an adult human being? 70. Yes. Breathing rate. The normal breathing rate is 12 to 16 times per minute, right? What about in case of infant? This is for normal adults. Breathing rate is 12 to 16 times. What about in case of infants? But in infants, breathing rate is 44 times per minute. But in infants, 44 times per minute. Okay. See here, 12 to 16 times per minute. 12 to 16 times per minute. In that, we know that the breathing includes two processes. What are those? Inhalation and exhalation, right? What is the duration of inhalation and exhalation? Duration of inhalation and then the exhalation. Duration of inhalation is about 2 seconds and exhalation or the expiration is about 3 seconds. How many seconds for one exhalation and one inhalation? 5. So minimum is being 12 times. 12 5 is 60 seconds per minute. Minimum is 12 times the inhalation and exhalations takes place. Is it clear? But being the higher animals among the mammals, we have the capability in order to alter the duration of inhalation or the exhalation and alter the rate of breathing or the breathing rate. So we can alter the rate of breathing or the breathing rate according to need. For example, when you run about 100 meter, right? After that, what will be your rate of breathing? Breathing rate increases or decreases? Increases, right? Even if you want to stop also, you cannot, right? Because your body want more oxygen, right? At that time, breathing rate will be increased. So in order to increase the breathing rate, okay, duration of this inhalation and exhalation must be reduced. Then only breathing rate can be increased. Is it clear? So like that, we can alter the rate of the breathing according to the need of body. So in order to facilitate this alteration of rate of breathing or the breathing rate, okay, that control center is present in brain. Where the control center is present? It is present in brain. Where they are present. So, respiratory control centers, where they are present? So these are present in brain, right? So which part of the brain? Okay, hypothalamus. Why hypothalamus? So these are present in brain. That is, there are two type of respiratory control centers are present. What are those? The one is a respiratory rhythm center. The another one is, okay, pneumotaxic center. Not toxic, it is pneumotaxic center. Yes, a respiratory rhythm center. Okay, this one is present in medulla oblongata. That is medulla region. Pneumotaxic center is present in, this one is present in pons. That is pons sporuli, right? What is the function of respiratory rhythm center? Respiratory rhythm center alters the rate of respiration or the rhythm of respiration. So respiratory rhythm center, this alters, okay, respiratory rhythm according to need of body. And this pneumotaxic center alter the rate of respiration. This alters a rate of respiration by decreasing duration of inspiration. What is the normal duration for the inspiration? 2 seconds. That will be decreased. By that, respiration rate will be increased or altered. By altering the rate of respiration, it alters the respiratory rhythm. So such centers are present in the pons and in the medulla oblongata in the brain. Say for example, let's write the connection between these points now. Okay, respiratory rhythm center, let's write it as RRC. Respiratory rhythm center is the one which alters the rhythm of the respiration, right? Okay, for that The stimulus is given by, what is this? Pneumotaxic center. Pneumotaxic center. This pneumotaxic center that stimulate the that alters the respiratory rhythm through respiratory rhythm center. Then it's also influenced by the presence of, what is that one here? Chemosensitive receptors. Chemosensitive receptors. Where these chemosensitive receptors are present? These chemosensitive receptors are present in chemosensitive area. Where? Near medulla or at medullary region near the respiratory rhythm center or adjacent to respiratory rhythm center. That is adjacent to respiratory rhythm center. Next, one more, not only that one, the chemosensitive receptors are also present in the other two parts of the body. What are those two? Aortic arch. Next, one more is aortic arch, and one more is SAN. What that SAN? So the chemosensitive receptors are also present in aortic arch and then carotid artery. What do you mean by carotid artery? And what do you mean by aortic arch? See, chemosensitive receptors which are present in aortic arch, carotid artery, and adjacent to the respiratory rhythm center in the medulla. In these three regions, chemosensitive receptors are present. What do you mean by chemosensitive receptors? Means these chemosensitive receptors are sensitive for increase in partial pressure of carbon dioxide and also increase in hydrogen ion concentration. So these chemosensitive receptors also, they are sensitive for increase in PCO2, that is partial pressure of carbon dioxide, and increase in hydrogen ion concentration. So whenever there is an increase in the PCO2 and in the H plus ion concentration, they stimulate the RRC, that is respiratory rhythm center, to alter the rhythm of respiration. What is the meaning of that one? See, for example, in case what happens, this PCO2 increases and there is an increase in the hydrogen ion concentration. That chemosensitive area stimulate the respiratory rhythm center in order to increase the rate of respiration. So whenever there is a decrease in carbon dioxide partial pressure and decrease in the H plus ion concentration, this one leads to decreasing that decreases rate of respiration. So this is how the alteration in the rate of respiration is carried out through a respiratory rhythm center and pneumotaxic center with the help of the chemosensitive receptors also. And what do you mean by aortic arch, where the chemosensitive receptors are present? Say for example, this is what the human heart means. Okay, so here the aorta will be present, right? So this is what called as aorta. At this aorta here an arch is present, right? In this arch, chemosensitive receptors are present. Okay, that arch is called as aortic arch. What do you mean by carotid artery? Carotid artery is the one which carry the blood directly to the brain. Name the artery which carry blood directly to the brain means that is a carotid artery. So this carotid artery carries blood, which carries blood directly to brain. Directly to brain. Remember this. So the next concept is regarding respiratory disorders. Respiratory disorders. See, these respiratory disorders commonly caused. Okay, what are the respiratory disorders commonly caused? Includes the one is asthma. Okay, next is emphysema, and next is bronchitis and occupational disorders. Right? So what happens during the asthma? What happens during asthma? Inflammation of the bronchi and bronchioles takes place. Inflammation of bronchi and bronchioles takes place here. So asthma, it is characterized by inflammation of bronchi and bronchioles in lungs. Right? So why this inflammation takes place here? Because of allergic reactions. So what is the cause here? Allergic reaction. What happens during the allergic reaction? That stimulate the release of allergic reaction, or this reaction takes place because of release of due to histamines, right? What will be released from the mast cells during allergic reactions? Histamine will be released, right? Yes. So as a result of this one, what happens? Inflammation of the blood vessels takes place near the bronchi and bronchioles. As that blood vessels dilate, that constrict the bronchi and bronchioles and decreases the rate of breathing, or it causes difficulty in the breathing. Okay, so that is what the reason behind asthma. That is where the inflammation of the bronchi and bronchioles takes place. So allergic reactions causes because of allergens in inhaled air. So what are the allergens here? Common allergens. It may be the pollen grain or the animal dander or the dust or the dirt or other substances. Aromatic compounds like in chemistry lab, right? Okay, so that may cause this allergic reaction. How it can be treated? What is the treatment? Okay, so symptoms of the asthma can be alleviated by, means minimized by. Okay, these symptoms can be minimized or alleviated by, yes, giving antihistamines, by giving antihistamines or steroids. By using steroids or the antihistamines, the effect of asthma or the symptoms of the asthma can be minimized. Okay. Next, emphysema. What happens during emphysema? Damaged, right? So here the damage of alveolar wall occurs, and that causes or that leads to or that causes decrease in surface area. What is called as that causes cholesis. What do you mean by cholesis? Means nothing but here narrow or reduction of the surface area for the exchange of the gases. So, see, this damage of alveolar wall occurs, then that causes cholesis, right? Why means because of accumulation of this one is because of accumulation of mucus, right? Mucus on alveolar wall. This reduces the rate of diffusion of the gases. So what is the exact meaning of emphysema? Means here full of air. So as the alveolar wall get coated or the line with the mucus, right, no exchange of the air takes place, so that those alveoli remains full of air only. No exchange of the air takes place. Okay, that causes difficulty in breathing. So that causes difficulty in breathing. Difficulty in breathing. Is it clear? And the more common the cause of this emphysema is, it is more common cause is excess smoking. So if anyone is having the habit of smoking, okay, please leave that one. Smoke morbid. Cigarette is mentioned, right? Not only cigarette, even BD or other also causes emphysema only, right? Next is bronchitis. What do you mean by bronchitis? It is a condition where the bronchi and the bronchioles undergo constriction. They undergo constriction. Here bronchitis is nothing but here constriction of bronchi and bronchioles. Bronchi and bronchioles. The reason may be the asthma or the other. Okay. So when the bronchi and then the bronchioles get constricted, that condition is called as bronchoconstriction. Bronchoconstriction. So as a result of that one, see what is the difference here from the asthma to the bronchi means here. So during asthma what happens? There is a constriction of the bronchi, because of inflammation of the blood vessels surrounding the bronchi or the bronchioles. Here constriction of the bronchi takes place because of excess contraction of the smooth muscles of bronchi and bronchiolar wall.